What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud of a Cap Show. UFC 253 honestly was really a disappointment to me. It was a lot of hype, and I bought into the hype. And when I say hype, I mean Paulo Costa. What is going on? You know, it's not the same guy that we saw before the 13 fights where he would come at the opponent, charge at him, and throw at will. You know, when he stepped in the cage with Adesanya, it was like he kind of froze up. You know, I was thinking the first 2 minutes when he stepped in, I was like, yo, what's going on? You know, Costco, what are you thinking? You know, I really thought he was really scared. He was nervous. And I think Paulo Costa, moving on in the future after that fight, I think, look, dude, do a different outlet in life. You know, I mean, do male modeling or something. You know, everybody talks about his physique ability, his physique, his nice body. Then go into modeling. Because the UFC clearly is not for you, Paulo Costa. And I get it. You know, yes, I'm giving him some negativity. Let's think of the bright side here with Paulo Costa. Okay, I think moving in the future, I think he needs to move up weight. He's just so big, dude. He literally got gassed after one round with Adesanya. You can tell. You know what Adesanya, what a brilliant game plan Adesanya is, and it makes sense why Adesanya is at the top right now. Why? Because he outsmarts his opponents. He said, you know what, I'm going to take his leg away from him, which he needs his leg for power, for the power punches. You know, and Koska maybe landed 1 or 2 hits, if that. You know, it was really embarrassing. It was just like, I couldn't believe it. I honestly gave Paulo Costa a little bit of benefit of the doubt. I gave him like 35, 40% chance of him beating Adesanya. Although I did pick Adesanya minutes before the fight. But it was just like, for real, bro? You know what I'm saying? You know, people say he could juice it not. Look, Costa, he should go up to heavyweight. Go at least light heavyweight, maybe even heavyweight. You know, he's built like a heavyweight. That's where I think he needs to go. For Adesanya, nothing. I mean, for him, the future's the brightest for Adesanya in the UFC of any fighter right now. And because he's got time on his side and his ability. And I think, you know, honestly, I think for the UFC right now, I think they need to book it. They need to schedule Adesanya versus Johnny Bones Jones. This would be the fight of the whole decade. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know recently I said this will be fight of the 2020. Clearly it wasn't. You know, clearly Adesanya outsmarted him. And I feel like Koska kind of froze up a little bit. Kind of froze up, you know, in the moment. But I think Adesanya moving forward, look, you know, why not? If I'm Dana White, schedule that. You know, what's Jon Jones have to lose? He just forfeited his light heavyweight championship because Jon Jones was what? Because he was tired of winning in that division for so long. Do you know, Jon Jones has been in the UFC since what, 2012, 2013? Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe even sooner than that. You know, Jon Jones has been at the top of the pinnacle. Jon Jones, in my opinion, is the pound-for-pound #1 right now. I know, I get it. You know, his last fight against Dominick Reyes didn't seem like it, right? You know, a lot of people kind of wrote Jon Jones off. Oh, he's going up to heavyweight because he wants to. Come on, stop that nonsense. Jon Jones, that's been his light heavyweight division for years upon years, dude. You know, and you can say, oh, it's the drugs, it's this and that. No, Jon Jones is the best. That's why I want to see Adesanya versus Jon Jones. I think this will be the #1 pay-per-view in UFC history if Dana White can make these two fighters happen. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Cap, how is Adesanya going to fight Jon Jones now? You know, Jon Jones is heavyweight. You know, he's big boy now. Like, I get it. You know, I get it. But find a way. Let them agree to, you know, maybe go back to light heavyweight. And I feel like Adesanya, it's not really hard to gain 20 pounds. Come on. You know, I really think for the UFC moving forward, this would be the fight of the freaking decade, dude. This would be the top 10 greatest UFC fights if Adesanya and Jon Jones do fight. And I do believe in the future. We've seen Adesanya throw shots at Jon Jones, and Jon Jones is like, I can't believe I'm even bringing this guy in the same sentence. You know, and I get it. Jon Jones, you know, he's my GOAT right now. But for UFC 253, Adesanya, Koska, I can't believe it. You know, I really can't. I'm really disappointed in Koska. You know, I didn't see the animal in Koska. I didn't see his aggression there in the octagon. It was just kind of blank, dude. It was like, I'm here to collect the check. I don't care if I win or lose. And at that point, it's like, where's the spirit of the fighter at? I don't think Koska has the full spirit. I don't know. I don't know what was going on in Koska's mind. I don't know what happened, but it was not the Koska we've seen in the past, right? He was kind of like getting back from Adesanya. It was like, hold up, you're the counter striker now. All of a sudden, Koska, I don't get it. I just did not get it, and Adesanya's just brilliant. He hasn't lost in the UFC. Okay, so it makes sense. Jon versus Dominick Reyes. What a fight. And I know I did pick Dominick Reyes. Dominick Reyes was the favorite here, and the underdog won. And this guy, dude, this dude is no joke, bro. He called out Jon Jones after this fight. He said, Jon Jones, where you at? And I think if I'm Jon Jones, I'm kind of laughing in my shoes because, like I said, Jon Jones has destroyed the light heavyweight division for so long, dude. And this dude who just beat Dominick Reyes just called him out. And I can't, honestly, what the future holds for the UFC's so bright, dude. It's the brightest it's ever been, dude. It'll ever be right now. What the UFC's doing right now, I think other sports are going to mimic the UFC. The way they're handling the virus right now. The way they're doing business. Fight Island. They're fighting over the country. They're fighting overseas, dude. Dana White's such a smart businessman. It makes sense why he's a billionaire. But Dominick Reyes, for him, his situation, I get it. He lost. I really think there's still some upside for Dominick Reyes here. He's still young. He's still in the UFC. And I feel like he still has a lot to learn right now. Yes, he's going to fall back some, but I do believe, bottom of my heart, we will see Dominick Reyes in the future back in that light heavyweight championship again at some point. It might take him a couple more years, but he will eventually get there. I think Dominick Reyes I feel like he underestimated his opponent's strength and his ability. And I think when you do that as a fighter, it's a big no-no. I think he didn't really come fully prepared for this fight. I don't know if it was his coaches, his trainers, whatever the case is, he lost. And he was the favorite. The underdog won. Congrats to the underdog. But, plus 230. Crazy, dude. Underdogs were not really heavy in UFC 253. But Dominick Reyes, there's still some future bright. For the other cat, look, dude, the future's the limit for him. I would love to see Jon Jones come back and just beat his ass to say, yo, look, Jon Jones, I am UFC. And I feel like Jon Jones should be getting paid the most of any UFC fighter today. Why? Because look at Jon Jones' history of what he's done in the UFC. And I do believe Jon Jones is probably underpaid. The highest paid UFC fighter's McGregor. He ain't even fighting right now. And yes, I get it. There's beef between him and Dana. Yes, I heard McGregor sent out, pictures of him and Dana's conversation. Then McGregor's coming out saying, Dana lied to me. I've been trying to fight since July. And I'm scratching my head thinking, damn, dude. It's almost October right now. July? That was a minute, dude. I don't know what's going on between McGregor. I really don't. I don't. And Dana White, I don't know what's going on. But I do believe they're going to clear it up. We're hearing speculations that McGregor's going to go fight Manny Pacquiao. At this point, I think McGregor's head is out of the UFC, no doubt. I think it's really right now for McGregor. It's about how much money can I make off any type of fight from here on out. And I get it. McGregor, he tweeted out saying, yo, look, I'm retired. This is it. I'm done. Retirement cake, all that. But I didn't buy into that. We're like I said, him and Pacquiao, I'd love to see that fight. 100%. But for the UFC, is McGregor going to come back? We're hearing speculations that he'll come back sometime next year. Who knows? Like I said, I don't think the hunger for McGregor's there anymore. Let's just look at the reality here. He got paid over $100 million fighting Mayweather. Where's his hunger at? I don't think he has the ultimate hunger, right? After you make over a certain amount of money, where's the hunger at? I don't think we're seeing that, but I still do believe athletes, for instance, like Serena Williams, she still has the hunger. It doesn't matter what level Serena Williams is on. She still has the hunger to win more championships. That's what I like to add to Serena Williams. And yes, Serena Williams is the greatest female athlete to ever live, in my opinion. She's one of the most underrated athletes. She is the best female athlete ever. Shout out to Serena Williams. But I'm telling you, with McGregor in the UFC, I don't see it anymore. I don't. Hopefully McGregor will come back. He's a big time in sales with the UFC. But look, I don't think it's there anymore. And I think Dana White right now has kind of just moved on from that situation. It's like, yo, Conor, it's my time now. It's my business. I'm gonna keep it going. We're starting to see new stars arise like Adesanya. We're seeing these cats, Usman. We're seeing it, dude, and I love that about the UFC. It just keeps growing and growing. But back to UFC 253, Adesanya, Costa, to me, it's not what I thought it would be. I thought, honestly, Adesanya would be backpedaling a lot, hitting his leg shots like he did, but I thought Costa was going to charge at him. But I was really disappointed. I really thought it was really more hype than what it should have been. And I think Dana kind of felt the same way. I just don't know what happened to Paulo. I really don't. But for him, the future's still bright. I would never give up on Costa. I know I said go to modeling or something. If you're not, don't have the spirit of the fighter. When I say that is I didn't really see the spirit of the fighter in Paulo Costa. When things don't go your way inside the octagon, how are you going to react? Just like in real life, when things don't go your way, how are you going to react to those situations? In my past, I've reacted really violently sometimes when things don't go my way. And then I look back and I realize, wow, that's not the way to go, to handle things when things don't go your way. It's only going to make the situation worse. But when he was in there fighting, I just feel like, he kind of gave up a little bit. And I hate to say that about Paulo Costa, a great fighter, but, the difference between a champion and a non-champion is the champion is going to go whatever it takes. It's not going to have any excuses. No matter what the situation is, he's going to overcome it. And Adesanya, it makes sense why he's still the champion. And like I said, for the future of the UFC, it's super bright, and I cannot wait to see what Dana White has in store for Adesanya, and I'm hoping Jon Jones and those boys can fight. Let's go!